Anyhow, I did obviously lay out the cards before getting started to save us a little bit of time. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Stones, which is the card representing home. This reading here is going to be about issues of home and hearth. Home and hearth issues and what's going on there. So let's go see. Let's unpack this and see if we can find out what's going on. Now, our first card here is the Blasted Oak. The Blasted Oak is really about tearing down things in our lives, tearing down things that could have been built on our ego. Maybe we've been putting our energy into the wrong thing, putting our money into the wrong account, so to speak. We could be going through any number of things in our life. But there's this idea of catastrophe in your life, of a need to tear down everything. You're going through a period of struggle. You're moving on. You're moving into a new direction, and you're facing the harsh cold with that right now. It could be a mental thing that you're going through and not so much a physical move or relocation. But either way, it's really about changing an orientation in your mind. And it's tough on you. But this is air energy right here. This is kind of catastrophe, calamity, tearing down of things. Now, if you choose to tear down or uproot your life, it may not have the negative impact that a lot of you might think automatically in a horror response. But sometimes we're ready to let go, and there might be that one thing in the environment that happens. We don't want to see somebody anymore, somebody that we work with, and then they get fired, and boy, doesn't that make our life easy. So it might not be a bummer to that degree. That was a random example, by the way, the coworker scenario. But this is really just about sometimes things happen. There may be things happen at random, things beyond our control. But in the midst of all of this struggle, we still have the Pole Star card, which indicates that there's a hope here, that you're following your star. You've been praying or connecting with Source or whatever you do to recharge. And this is something that you're going through. You're following your star to your destination. And the Blasted Oak is clearing that away for you. And you understand that. You know why you're going through a struggle. You're going through the struggle because you're trying to create authenticity in your life. And that means letting go of things that don't serve you. It means following your star. It means being willing to deal with the frustrations and the drivel that can occur on a day-to-day. In fact, at the heart of this reading, we see frustration. Also in arrows. Clear your mental thinking. If you find yourself engaging in toxic thinking, seek help. Go get yourself a CBT workbook in the psychology section of the bookstore. Or do something like that where you get control over your thought process. Because how you think about your situation in life has a lot to do with your overall satisfaction with your life. Doesn't mean that your frustrations or problems are not real. I would not say that. What I do mean, though, is sometimes we insist that things have to go a certain way or it is impossible for us to be happy. And maybe it doesn't have to be that way at all. Sometimes acceptance of a situation can be the only power we can take over a situation. But it's up to you to figure out what that means. There's definitely the sense of endurance that's going on right now. You're trying to get through a difficult and trying situation. You're coming out of the storm. We see this lightning again. You're having really inclement weather. In other words, your environment is toxic and it's going through major energy. All of this is about clearing the way so that your best future can come in. Doesn't mean that it's not hard on you. You're looking at the blasted oak, and that's almost all you can think about. Your struggle's real, though, and it's affecting you in your mind and in your heart, too. And you're just trying to get your ground underneath you. You're trying to stay grounded. Understandably so. You're focusing on your hope. You're riding out the storm. You're not running into it, putting yourself in danger. You're riding out the storm because you have the wisdom to understand that this too shall pass. So we tie this back to your frustration, and we have up here too reflection. As you're enduring the storm, you're thinking about the blasted oak energy. You're processing your frustration and you're reflecting on what happened. The reflection card in this deck is the moon card. I could be mistaken on that. I better rub that one out. I better cancel that statement. So anyhow, we see someone looking in a mirror at herself. We also see that the moon itself is a reflection. It's not the thing itself. It's a reflection of that. In other words, the moon does not produce light. It merely reflects the light of the sun so that people on Earth can see it. But it doesn't mean that it's the actual light bearer. And that's one thing that we have to notice within ourselves. We have to go within and understand, what is our role in creation? How did we create the situation that we're now enduring its passing? And what kinds of things did we say to ourselves to keep ourselves in that situation? As deeply, intensely painful, it can still be a great learning experience. But sometimes we can even say to ourselves, well, my ego was perpetuating this relationship because I just wouldn't give up. Even though the evidence was in my awareness, I could not give up on the idea. So that's a real thing to check as well, right? Be careful that we're not participating in that and getting caught up in somebody else's stuff. Reflection can also be a caution against codependence. Like, if somebody else is having a rough time, I don't have to have a bad day, in order to empathize with somebody I love who's having a bad day. No, I'm free to have a great day if I want. We don't have to spend it together. Or we could be in the same room, but I'm reading a book I enjoy or watching a great movie and somebody else is not having a good day. But the Blasted Oak is, taking down in one or many, including all areas of one's life, a major life transition or transformation. So it could be as big as a divorce situation or a breakup. It could be being fired from a job and then struggling financially, trying to get through it. And learning in that reflection period, what was my role in this? How did I contribute to my current suffering now? What's my takeaway? Through all of this, we see you coming into your power, your period of reflection, endurance, your struggle. It was not in vain. It was actually for your personal growth. And you come into a place of power. But note, the flip side of this power card is that you need to take it. This is hinting at external elements that are bumming you out. There are people around you that do not have your best interests at heart, and they may be argumentative and tedious. So that's a reality as well. There's a willingness within your heart to transition, to move on from the situation that is toxic for you. You think about it. You have some reflection time to think about what your best options are. And you seize your power and you put it into your transition, your transformation. You're moving from one orientation of consciousness to another orientation of consciousness. It could be a physical move. You move from one house to another, or you move out of this bad relationship. But you're moving on, even if you're not the one who's moving out. Last but not least, up top, we have Queen of Stones, the bear. Bear's about a cycle, sometimes a 2-year cycle, but it's about giving birth to something in the cave and then bringing it out for emergence into the spring. Something you've been doing. All of this is about your journey over the winter. You've been going through this. And with the emergence of spring comes new passion. It's kind of like, today I was sort of getting the urge to spring clean, and that was even before the sun came out. Now the sun's out, I'm doing these readings and it's reflecting on the table, so I like that. But maybe not, from a consumer of this video view, but from my perspective, I just like the sun. I guess the point I'm making here is Queen of Stones being very stable, solid energy. You're trying to get your feet under you in this transition process. You're trying to take your power and move on and reestablish somewhere else. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You're trying to come into your own power here as best you can. And so this may be the completion of a 2-year cycle. Doesn't necessarily have to be, however. But you're doing you. And all of this is tying back to your home energy. This is what's been going on in your home life. You may be changing partners and dancing. Or if you're a big one for work, if work is a huge focus in your life, it could be that you're switching from one job to another. Now, whoops, I didn't mean to put that there. Let me go ahead and shuffle our oracle cards. We're working with the Denise Linn Sacred Traveler Oracle cards today. So let me see if Spirit has any additional assistance that we might be able to provide for Libra. We would greatly appreciate that. I would greatly appreciate that. And being able to complete this reading. And I'm going to take that. All right. Passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Given that you're letting go of something major in your life, I don't know, passion and pleasure sounds wonderful. Maybe that's what it's about for you right now. All right. Savor your life. Let me get the card up where you can see it. Find joy in the moment. No matter what is occurring in your life, if you simply focus on what is splendid, wonderful, and pleasurable in the moment, everything improves. Live deliciously. Love often and live fully. Cherish your friendships. Fill your life with the people, experiences, and places that give you delight and joy. Let go of those people and things that don't appreciate or empower you. Give yourself permission to be happy. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know, when the traveler meets a band of gypsies, the traveler stops to dance until the early morning hours. Sometimes we get so caught up with wondering what's around the next bend and worrying about our current challenges that we forget to focus on what's great in the moment. You're not meant to simply work hard and be diligent and practical. Embrace pleasure wherever you can. Allow your senses to be satiated. Find and explore the beauty around you. You don't need to suffer to grow. You can grow spiritually by leaps and bounds through joy. Dance, eat well, and drink well. Share joy wherever you can.